Petr Yan and Merab Dvalishvili just had an all-out war. Every single round had amazing striking and wrestling from both of them. Now, in their first fight, Merab set out such an immense pace, Petr Yan couldn't handle it and he lost. But things have changed. Things have changed a lot. Now, to the average viewer, it might look like Petr Yan just threw very many accurate shots that hurt Merab a lot and had really good takedown defense. But anybody who's experienced knows that's not what happened. I'm Cam, and I've been training Muay Thai consistently for over a year now. But between all combat sports, I've been fighting for all my life. And something I realize the more and more experience I gain is how important the two different fighting styles you can take as a fighter are, and the fight outcomes that they lead to. Now, what do I mean by these two different type of fighting styles you can take? Well, we see it all the time, and sometimes it gets confused on exactly what's going on, but there are two different fighting styles. One, you can fight like an animal. You can fight very, very animalistically, where you are very, very explosive. And the thing is, the drawback with this is that you're not thinking about the future. You're not really setting up traps. You're not really being methodical. All you're doing is just throwing all the techniques you know, every single thing you can, emptying out your gas tank, and hopefully you knock them out. But that's not very, very smart. And especially the deeper you get into this mindset, it's going to be extremely tough the higher levels you get. On a street fight, this works fine. We see this all the fucking time. On the street, guys who don't know how to fight at all, that just purely let their rage out and let their rage control them, they win fights. But in an amateur fight, in a pro fight, in a fucking UFC championship, this shit does not work. Now we have the other style, which is the complete opposite end of the scale, which I call future sight. You fight with future sight. You fight with the future in mind. A good example of this is Merab. He fights not thinking about this round. He doesn't think about the next 3 minutes, the next 5 minutes. He thinks about the next 25 minutes. He thinks about how he's going to win with the decision. But what we notice is that with that, he doesn't have very many knockouts at all. The only knockout I can think of him having is that one spinning back fist that was pretty much completely accidental. Now, we don't want to be either or. We don't want to be an extremely animalistic fighter who only knows how to throw these super fast, super explosive punches. But we also don't want to be on the other side of the scale where we're just hanging back. We're just on the defensive the entire time, or putting just a bunch of pressure on with no actual substance to it. We want to be in the middle. And this fight was a masterclass, a perfect example of what I'm talking about, because of Petr Yan's ability to keep his opponents outside. What we see is that the main significant strikes that Petr Yan landed, which specifically were to the liver, those strikes happened in the later rounds. They didn't happen because Merab was getting tired out. Everybody knows you can't fucking tire out Merab. You just can't. But they still happened in the later rounds. And that's because he was looking with a level of future sight. He was looking, okay, I'm not going to tire this guy out, but I can get him off his game. I can stun him a little bit. And that's not going to happen right now. I shouldn't just explode on him right now. What I should do is keep him out, make sure that he's not getting these takedowns on me, keep him out with my jab, because we saw a lot of that from him. And this is really the main way you can counter these guys who just have future sight. Anybody who's fighting, this is the main way that you do that. Now, this comes with a caveat. Having future sight is very important. Being able to tell, okay, my opponent's tired now, my opponent's hurting now, being able to see, I should strike the liver, I should strike the leg, I should do this and do that. That's very important. But it's just as equally as important to be able to execute on that. Having future sight and seeing the actual pain that they're showing you, the signs that they're giving you, is important. But we also, in those split second moments, need to be able to narrow our vision and what the fucking inexperienced fighters like to say, when everybody sees red, we need to be able to see red and to go into that animalistic. We need to be able to switch like that. That's the main point I'm trying to tell you, because that's exactly what Petr Yan was doing. When that liver shot landed, that liver kick, that's when he began to think, okay, now's my chance. I need to stop thinking about future rounds, setting up different tactics, setting up different kicks and stuff like that, setting up different takedowns, whatever. I mean, he didn't really set up takedowns, but you know what I mean. And I need to be thinking exactly about, all right, I can hurt this guy now. This guy has opened up, and he's clearly fucking yelling. I need to hurt this guy now. We need to be able to take that into our own training, into our own fights. This is how you get this type of flip of the switch mindset, where you can break your opponents down. This is exactly how you break your opponents down. Now, the way that we actually use this inside of our training functionally is very simple. We just need to be more patient. I think that it's in our natural tendency to be animalistic. I haven't had anybody who has had issues with being more animalistic, with striking when the moment is necessary. But I have had very many people, including myself, who struggle with actually seeing when the necessary time is to strike. And the way we do this is by being more patient. If you will look back, you will see at the beginning of the rounds, Petr Yan is just sitting there with his hands up, with his left hand out, with his jab out. That's all he's doing, just waiting for an opportunity to open up. He switches stances. He's still waiting. He switches stances again. He's still waiting. That's not what happened at the last couple of rounds. In the fourth round, the beginning looks very, very different than in the beginning of the first round. He's still being patient, but it's a lot more explosive because the shell has already been ripped off. The defenses have already been penetrated. Next time you're training, next time you're in an intense situation, under a lot of pressure, just be more patient. That doesn't mean being more laid back. That doesn't mean being less focused. What that means is that you need to still pay a bunch of attention, but pay attention in different areas. Don't pay attention in, oh, I need to immediately penetrate this dude. I need to, holy pause. Where you don't think immediately about, okay, I can hit a liver shot right now. Okay, I can do this or that. I can hit a knockout shot, first round. Think about, okay, I can kill this dude's legs. Once I kill this dude's legs, I can go up to the arms. Or I can go straight up to the head. Because this guy's so focused on his legs, now he's going to lower his defenses. Maybe he's going to be grabbing some kicks to his legs, and then I can go for the head. Think long enough to where you can set up tricks, set up traps for your opponents, but don't forget to actually set off those traps. Don't forget to actually use what you've been doing throughout the entire fight. Now, if you have a nice little first round knockout, good for you. But majority of fights, that's not going to happen. If you want to learn exactly how Merab got his cardio, then I have a much, much longer video explaining exactly how to get that cardio for yourself. And I promise, if you watch to the end of that video, you will know everything I have learned about cardio, researching specifically hours and hours and hours about Merab. With that being said, peace.